So I get a fan to put on my desk to blow the fumes away from my face. Then the next day I'm feeling these fumes and I can't position the fan right to get rid of them. Then I'm starting to get this fume up my nose, straight up my nose. So I'm thinking maybe this is something that's on the floor. So I push on the floor, the fan, position it, and it is on the floor. And so I get another fan. 2 battery fans I got from the sporting goods store. And I put them down, and it gives me some relief. And I'm moving to the other area, and this is his area, this manager's area that I had a problem with. And I'm positioning the fans. I use them, but they're starting to burn out fast. And so I go to the thrift store to get an electrical fan that I can use on the floor and just have a battery fan up top. And that helps. But I noticed that these fumes are now coming like on a timer. I get the fumes and then it stops, and I started to time it, and it would, when it stopped, it would start back in like 3 to 4 minutes. I can't remember how long it stayed on, and I was wondering if it was just something that was squirting and then just linger around. So I do remember the time it was coming on, but I don't remember about the time it stayed there. And so I'm getting the fumes from the floor and from the top, and I'm thinking as time goes on that this is something that probably is like those refreshers they have in the bathroom that squirt at a certain time. So I'm thinking that's what this is, because as time goes on, I'm starting to get particles in my face, like those little texture things. I'm getting them in my face, and they're coming from to the right from another cube that's in front of me on the other aisle. And so I point the fan in that direction, and I'm getting the particles, and they're coming from Lori's area. And it showed proof positive that it was when this guy that comes to see her came into her cube, and say this is the top of her cube, and his head, was like this, only showing that much. I'm sitting below, so that's why I see just that much of his head. And it's not like his head or body was this much. So whatever it is situated there somehow that it would just come towards me. He is in her cube, and he moves over here, and the particles stop. He moves out of the cube, and it starts back again. He moves back in that same position, and the particles come back again. The particles stop when he moves back into that position. So I'm thinking whatever it is could be something that's under the carpet where she is. And I don't say anything to management because by this time no one has done anything. I've complained to my senior manager at least 3 times since, but one of them made me feel that she wasn't going to do anything. Before, she stated that perhaps I should try and collect some of this in a plastic bag, and then she knows somebody we can get to take them and analyze them. She was talking to somebody, and they had mentioned that. So then another time I'm at her office area, I believe speaking to her secretary, and she is getting ready to pass me. Deborah is getting ready to go out the door, and the senior manager turns to me and she said, "Are you still having this problem?" I said, "Yes." And I'm sure Deborah must have heard this. "Yes, I'm still having a problem." And she was saying, "Why don't you collect some of the particles in a plastic bag?" She mentioned the person's name. And we can, I have his address, and either Andrea, my manager, or I can take it to him. Or I can give you the address and you can take it. I said, "I have some in a plastic bag. Give me the address." Then she states, "Well, I can't give you the address because," and it's actually too expensive to try to analyze what it is. Because, to try and find out what this actually is would be very expensive. And I'm thinking, why did you mention it? Why did you ask me to do this? if you're not going to do anything about it, if you're not going to do anything with it. So I don't understand why she did that. So I'm thinking there's nothing that I can do that will get her assistance. So I didn't feel that mentioning this thing about the carpet and this guy stepping on something would do anything. And so the problem persisted. The manager that I'm speaking about, who I felt informed Deborah about the workplace violence report that I did, now passes me in the aisle, and every time he passes me, I'm getting the fumes. I'm getting the fumes from my desk area to the right, and I'm getting it when he passes me. Nobody else can pass, and I feel this or get this fume in me, but him. And that when I do get these fumes, whether it's scented or not, it affects my breathing and my lungs. The fumes that I'm getting from him seem to do something to my chest, and it does a kind of an expansion thing, and it feels like pressure. So if something happens to me and I have an autopsy, I'm sure it would show that a constant pressure or expansion or something in my chest. I don't know what's going on in there because this has been happening so long, there's no telling what's going on. But I felt it to a point where it feels like it's probably something really damaged in there by this time. But again, I felt it when he passes. I'm getting it from the floor and above. So I continue to get this. I see one of the security guards of FedEx that I know at a dealership. I guess he was there checking on his car. I was there getting my car worked on, service for, oil, the maintenance thing that you have to do. And I tell him that I wanted to see a security guard that I knew that worked with someone or near someone, and I thought they may be able to give me a hookup to someone I thought might be a better ear. And that person would have been Fred Smith, because I thought that he would have an ear that would listen. Nobody else appears to be assisting me on this problem. Now it's next year, the following year, and this problem is still going on. And so I tell him what the problem is, and that I made a workplace violence report. I'm still having a problem with that person. I'm having a problem with the manager. I felt informed this person about this. And so he takes my last name because he only knew she. And he takes my last name. So the following workday, Monday, this happened on a Saturday when I talked to this guy. And that was Saturday. Monday comes around, and the manager passes me, no fumes. Tuesday passes, no fumes. I'm thinking maybe someone said something to him, or he thinks that maybe someone's watching him, so he's not going to do anything now, so I'm not doing anything. Then Wednesday comes around, it's back. Thursday comes around, it's back. Friday. So then Monday, the following Monday comes, and I'm at the desk trying to get something from the one of the drawers. And he comes to me. This is the desk in front of my cube, 3 seats in front of my cube. And he states, Sheila, I speak to you and you don't say anything. Because at some point, I'm thinking, I don't want him to think that what he's doing is okay with me. And that he can do this and I still smile and laugh with him. So I stopped speaking to him too. So he says that, and I say, I'm tired of these fumes from you and Lori. And I walk to my desk. He follows me and he says, so you're saying when I pass you, you get these fumes? This is what I said to the security guard at the dealership. And I have said that to no one else. No one. Not family, not co-worker, not management, not security. I have said it to no one except that person at the dealership. So when he said that, I said, Joe, I have said nothing to you about you passing me. I said nothing about you passing me. And he said, well, you said something about me and Lori. I said nothing about you passing me. I just stuck with that statement. And he said, well, I was just trying to find out what you were saying. I said nothing about you passing me. Where'd you get that from? He didn't say anything, and he left. He walked off. I felt he accused himself at that point, because I had never said anything about him passing me to anyone. He gave my statement back to me, and he came around on the other aisle, and he said, well, sometimes people upset with you about something. You don't know why they're upset with you. I was just trying to find out. I said, now that's the truth. That's the truth. Somebody's upset with you. You don't know why. I don't know why he's doing this. Maybe he felt that I would say something about him, saying something to Deborah, and he would have accused himself with that as well, because I only said to security that this manager informed the person that was the reporter. So him accusing himself of the same person passing me, he accused himself of being that person that I spoke about passing me and the person who informed her, because the manager who would have received a report, because when I filed the report, my manager was out. And if someone received a report that I made, and it had to be someone assisting my manager, it would have been someone else, Paul, who works in my area, not Joe, who does not. But seeing that he accused himself as being that person, I'm wondering what he received, because if the security guy did not report to him about it, and I asked the security guard who interviewed me if he said something, and he said no. Where did Mr. Cole get the information from? Did he receive it from someone, or did he enter a system he had no access to? I don't know. I don't know where he got that from, because when I informed the security guard and he asked me my name, I thought he might mention it to the person who did the workplace violence report, because he asked me who it was. I didn't know his name, so I described the security person. So I don't know where Mr. Cole got the information, but why would he ask about him passing if I didn't say